Today's story is absolutely explosive. Ukraine has just obliterated one of Russia's most vital oil refineries near the Black Sea. This wasn't just another drone strike or symbolic attack. It was a direct, calculated, and devastating hit aimed at crippling Russia's energy lifeline, sending shockwaves through Putin's inner circle. The strike came at a time when Russian troops were tightening their grip near Pokrovsk, and Ukraine's response was nothing short of thunderous revenge. For months, Ukraine has been refining its precision strike capabilities. But this was different. The target was not just an industrial site. It was a symbol of Moscow's power, an artery that fuels Russia's war machine. When the refinery went up in flames, the sky turned into a fiery orange canvas visible for miles. The blast, according to reports, echoed across the coast, shattering windows and shaking nearby settlements. Videos from locals flooded social media. Enormous columns of black smoke, fire erupting from massive tanks, and chaos as emergency crews struggled to contain the inferno. This refinery was no small target. It was one of the main hubs supplying refined fuel to Russian military operations in southern Ukraine and Crimea. Destroying it meant striking deep into Russia's logistics chain, cutting off fuel lines, disrupting troop movements, and sending a chilling message to Moscow. Ukraine can hit wherever it wants, whenever it wants. What's truly remarkable is how Ukraine pulled this off. Intelligence reports suggest a coordinated drone operation using a swarm of long-range UAVs that penetrated deep into Russian air defenses. Despite Moscow's claims of having one of the most advanced anti-drone systems, the attack slipped through like a ghost. The precision of the hit indicates Ukrainian forces used advanced guidance systems, possibly aided by real-time satellite data. This wasn't luck, this was surgical precision. As the refinery burned, panic spread across Russian media channels. Propaganda anchors struggled to contain the narrative, labeling the attack as minor damage, while videos clearly showed massive explosions consuming entire fuel storage sections. Analysts say this strike could cut up to 15% of Russia's Black Sea refining capacity, a staggering blow to its already strained economy. But this wasn't just about oil, it was psychological warfare. By targeting something so deep inside Russia, Ukraine sent a bold reminder that no part of Putin's empire is truly safe anymore. The symbolism was powerful. As Russian troops tried to close in on Pokrovsk in eastern Ukraine, Kyiv hit back in a way that would make even hardened Russian commanders rethink their strategies. Pokrovsk itself has become a brutal battleground. Russian forces have been pushing hard, launching wave after wave of assaults in an attempt to break Ukrainian lines. The city stands as a critical gateway between the Donetsk region and central Ukraine. Capturing it would open the door to further Russian advances, but Ukraine's defenders have turned it into a fortress, resisting with everything they have. Each street, each block has become a symbol of defiance. While Russian soldiers inch closer, Ukrainian engineers and tacticians continue to expand their drone warfare capabilities. The attack on the Black Sea refinery was not just a message, it was proof that Ukraine's asymmetric warfare strategy is working. Instead of matching Russia tank for tank or plane for plane, Ukraine is choosing to hit where it hurts most: infrastructure, supply routes, and morale. Putin, once confident in his control of the Black Sea region, is now dealing with a nightmare scenario. His ports, oil hubs, and logistics routes are being picked off one by one. Each Ukrainian strike forces the Kremlin to divert billions of rubles toward repair, security, and defense, while its troops on the front lines grow increasingly desperate. Reports from Russian insiders reveal growing frustration within the ranks. Some soldiers complain of fuel shortages, convoys are being delayed, supply lines are breaking down. For an army that runs on oil and logistics, the refinery strike is more than symbolic. It's crippling. Ukraine's military intelligence has made it clear that these operations will continue. Officials from Kyiv hinted that the attack was part of a larger campaign to disrupt Russia's war economy. Every refinery, depot, and transport hub is now a target, and the message to Moscow is chillingly clear. The deeper you go into Ukraine, the deeper Ukraine will strike into you. Internationally, reactions were swift. Western analysts called the strike a strategic masterpiece. NATO officials, while maintaining diplomatic caution, praised Ukraine's growing precision and ingenuity. Meanwhile, Russian state TV raged with anger, accusing NATO of helping plan the strike, an accusation Western officials dismissed as baseless. In reality, Ukraine has built a homegrown drone and missile program that's now one of the most adaptive and unpredictable in modern warfare. Using 3D printed parts, repurposed electronics, and creative engineering, Ukrainian designers have turned cheap drones into lethal long-range weapons capable of flying hundreds of kilometers undetected. This new era of warfare is rewriting the playbook. The strike also exposed the vulnerabilities of Russia's vast energy network. Despite heavy investment in air defenses, the fact that drones could fly so deep into Russian territory and destroy such a critical facility shows that Moscow's security bubble is full of holes. Experts say this will force Russia to redeploy air defense systems away from the front lines to protect key infrastructure, exactly what Ukraine wants. In Pokrovsk, the fighting continues. The city is battered, the air filled with smoke and dust, but Ukrainian troops hold their ground. Civilians have been evacuated, though many still refuse to leave. For them, Pokrovsk is home and surrender is not an option. Reports from the front say that Ukrainian artillery continues to pound Russian positions relentlessly, inflicting heavy casualties. The refinery strike, timed perfectly as the Pokrovsk battle intensified, served as a morale boost for Ukrainian soldiers. Videos shared by troops show them cheering as news of the explosion spread through the ranks. "Let them feel what we feel every day," one soldier said, his face covered in dust and sweat. The sense of justice, of hitting back after months of suffering, was palpable. Inside Russia, the political pressure on Putin is mounting. Hardliners are demanding harsher retaliation, while moderates warn that escalation could spiral out of control. Some reports claim that regional governors near the Black Sea have ordered extra security around all major energy sites. Fearing more strikes to come, the mood is tense, uneasy, and angry. For Ukraine, this attack is part of a long-term shift from defense to deterrence. By showing it can reach deep into Russian territory, Ukraine is reshaping the strategic balance. It's no longer just reacting to Russian offensives, it's dictating the tempo of the war. And that, more than anything, terrifies the Kremlin. Energy experts warn that repeated attacks on refineries could choke Russia's export revenue, which funds nearly half of its war budget. With sanctions already biting and production costs rising, each explosion adds economic pressure. The loss of just one major refinery might not break Russia's economy, but it's a domino effect, and Ukraine knows it. The imagery of the burning refinery, the flames reflected in the dark waters of the Black Sea, has become a symbol of resistance. For Ukrainians, it's proof that justice can burn just as fiercely as vengeance. For Russians, it's a grim reminder that the war they started has come home. What's fascinating is how the global perception of this conflict continues to evolve. At first, the world saw Ukraine as the underdog, outgunned, outmanned, outnumbered. But now, it's the innovator, the strategist, the disruptor. Every successful strike like this one reinforces that narrative and wins not only the physical battle, but also the psychological one. Satellite images now show large-scale damage to the refinery's core facilities. Experts say repairs could take months, maybe longer. Russia's attempt to downplay the incident only highlights its desperation to maintain control of the narrative. But the truth is impossible to hide when flames that high light up the night sky. Ukraine's defense ministry released a brief but powerful statement. "When they bring war to our homes, we bring fire to theirs." It's a line that has since gone viral, capturing the essence of Ukraine's determination. Every drone, every missile, every explosion, it's a voice saying, "You cannot break us." As for Pokrovsk, the city stands, battered but not broken. Its defense has become a symbol of Ukraine's wider struggle, holding the line not just with weapons, but with willpower. The soldiers there know that every refinery destroyed, every Russian supply disrupted, increases their chances of survival. International aid continues to flow. But what Ukraine has proven with this attack is that it doesn't need to rely entirely on others. It has the capability, the brains, and the bravery to strike back on its own terms. This independence is reshaping how the world views the balance of power in Eastern Europe. Meanwhile, inside the Kremlin, there's silence. No official acknowledgement of the scale of the loss, no press conference, no numbers, just carefully worded denials and awkward half-truths. It's the same playbook. Deny, deflect, distract, but the visuals speak louder than any propaganda. Energy analysts are already predicting a ripple effect with the refinery offline. Fuel prices in some Russian regions are expected to rise sharply. The Black Sea ports could face temporary slowdowns. Transportation costs will climb. For everyday Russians, this means higher prices, longer queues, and growing frustration. For Putin, the optics are disastrous. At a time when he's trying to project strength and control, the world sees smoke rising from his key economic engine. His enemies look bold, his defenses look weak, and his people are starting to ask uncomfortable questions. Ukraine's resilience, in the face of overwhelming odds, has become one of the defining stories of our time. From the ruins of cities like Mariupol to the front lines of Pokrovsk, every inch of ground is paid for with courage. And now, that courage is no longer just about survival. It's about taking back power. When historians look back on this war, this strike will be remembered not just as a military operation, but as a statement, a declaration that Ukraine refuses to be cornered, refuses to bow, refuses to be broken. It's a message written in fire and smoke across the Black Sea sky. And as those flames fade, another truth emerges. This war is no longer about geography or borders. It's about endurance, innovation, and the human spirit's refusal to surrender. Ukraine's retaliation after the Pokrovsk pressure shows that it understands the psychology of modern warfare better than anyone expected. You don't just fight on the battlefield, you fight in the economy, in the media, in the morale of your enemy. And tonight, as the Black Sea glows with the remnants of that explosion, it's clear who won this round. The battle for Pokrovsk continues. The struggle for freedom continues. But for now, Ukraine has sent a message that will echo through every bunker, every boardroom, and every shadowed hall of power in Moscow. No empire stands forever, and sometimes all it takes to remind the mighty of that truth is a single spark. Thank you for watching. Stay strong, stay aware, and remember, the truth always burns brighter than propaganda.